So a few days ago I, 25F, found out that my sister, 24F, has been sleeping with my boyfriend, now ex, 25M. We dated for 3 years, for 1 year, or probably more. They always had a close relationship, but I obviously took it as something innocent. I don't like video games, but my sister does, so they talked a lot by text, and I thought it was about games they like until I found out that no. They talked a lot about their secret dates while I was working and in college. I found pictures, videos, and a lot of other disgusting things in the chats between my ex and my sister. My pathetic sister found pleasure in asking my pathetic ex all the time if she's smarter or prettier than me. She even compared our private parts. WDH, we're both pretty. She's actually thinner and prettier than me, and even if she's an introvert, she has her group of friends, so I really don't understand where she got so much venom towards me. Our parents never compared us or anything like that, and she was always the one asking my ex to compare both of us in the chats. The first thing I did was throw all my ex-boyfriend's things out of the apartment. I insulted him in 1,000 ways, and I kept the PC that I gave him for Christmas. I didn't speak a single word to my sister for over a week, and she didn't contacted me like the coward she is until yesterday when she sent me a message trying to justify herself by saying that it was a mistake. Yes, a mistake that lasted more than a year, and that I should forgive her because we're sisters and blah blah blah. At one point I thought, should I be the mature person in the situation who doesn't let resentment speak for her? But then I realized that I've never been that kind of person. I took my phone and wrote a long message to my sister that I would love to write here, but I am sure that I would break the rule since I called her out in every possible way, and I wrote a lot of personal things too. I told her how much of a failure she is and how she has always envied me, and that's why she needed to feel what it's like to be me for a second of her sad life. She sended me a voice message crying and saying that she's in a very weak moment mentally, but she's still with him, LMAO, and I shouldn't make her feel worse and that she regrets it. I just reacted to her message with this emoji, crying laughing face, and didn't even listen to the long voice message until the end. Was it a low thing to attack her with all her flaws? Yes, but it's lower to betray your sister and believe that she's going to forgive you just because you share blood with her. Honestly, I feel really good after sending her that message, and feel that it was therapeutic to take out everything I feel to give closure to that. By the way, I've never used a PC for gaming, but I'm looking for tutorials on YouTube about how to download The Sims. I helped my sister in every moment of her life. I literally fought for her when she was being bullied during high school. I helped her thousands of times to make friends. I even accompanied her everywhere she wanted. It is a betrayal that really hurts, and I will never forgive. Never. It hurts me that she slept with someone I loved. But it hurts me a lot all the things I read in those chats, how she enjoyed watching him compare me to her, or how she asked him about personal things about our relationship just to laugh at it. She's dead to me, and my parents knows it. I don't even care if I'm a bad person like them. This is something I can't forgive, and I don't even feel bad for my reaction. Relevant comments. OP on her parents' reaction. OP, my mother was disgusted and my father was angry, but they only comforted me until I left their house. I don't know what they talked to my sister about afterwards, and I don't want to ask, but they will probably cut contact with her. She just said that it was a mistake, and in the voice message she only talked about how weak she feels mentally, and that she has been having anxiety attacks even though I didn't hear the full audio because it lasts plus 4 minutes and I was getting even more pissed off with her just wanting to be the victim, so I stopped the audio almost in the end. She never explained why she said all those ugly things about me because everything was about her having anxiety attacks. Update. Thank you for all the nice comments you left me. Many wrote to me with tips for The Sims, and I'm really grateful. Thanks for the game recommendations even though I'm really bad at playing action game. The last action game I played was Resident Evil 4 on the PS2 long time ago, and it was because I had a crush with Leon Kennedy. He would never cheat on me, by the way. As a token of appreciation, and because I also like it when the op uploads the whole gossip, I will put here half of the message I sent to my sister. The message I sent her was really long, and I cut out the parts where I talk about very private things, or when I insulted her to not make the post too uncomfortable because I was really hurt and angry at that moment, and I talked about many personal things in the text. I will put the copy of the message in the end if someone talks Spanish. I'm sorry if it sounds weird in English. I did my best to translate it, and I had to remove a lot of parts. Here goes. I'm not interested in hearing any of your excuses. I believed you when a problem she had with her ex-friend group happened because I really trusted that you would never do something like that, but now I understand why everyone leaves you alone and you deserve it. What you did to me is a shit, and you know it, but you didn't care because you spent a year being the whore of X name without any shame, and now that I found out everything, you went days without talking to me because you were a coward, and on top of that you still don't care about what you did to me. You're only talking to me because dad probably stopped talking to you and you're running out of money. So you want to fix this shit so he gives you money again. You were always an asshole, but don't you think it's a lot to be my boyfriend's second woman? How little respect do you have for yourself? We're sisters. I don't even know what's going on in your head because I don't understand what's wrong with you. Girl, I read all the messages between you and you even started comparing our bodies. You're sick. You know that I never did anything for you to do this to me, and I loved you. But everything turned out really well for you because he's with you, so enjoy that feeling and the love you two have for the other for now, because you are going to be really lonely later, and you are going to go back to your cave, but this time I am not going to be there to pity you like every time I did before. Stay with him. There's nothing that interests me less than fighting for an idiot who is surely going to leave you, but let me make it clear to you that you're not going to hear about me again. This dies here. We are not sisters anymore. If I see you on the street, then I'm going to cross to the opposite sidewalk to not see you. Update 2. They broke up. Nobody's surprised. When all of this happened, my parents scolded my sister, and she got offended and didn't speak to our parents except to ask them for money. She asked them for money to buy things for her career, but then my aunt told my parents that my sister actually used that money to buy my ex some sneakers. My parents never gave her any money from that day on. She's an idiot, TBH. My parents started to pay for us to go to a private college, and the only thing we have to do is literally study. The only thing she had to do was take her studies seriously, but she didn't. So my father got tired and hasn't sent her money for months. My ex discovered the post because he said it went viral on Facebook, and obviously he recognized the story. He contacted me to apologize and said he knows he did wrong by hurting me like that, but my sister manipulated him, and it was a total mistake. I told him he can shove his apologies in the ass. Meanwhile, my sister and I have only crossed paths a few times, but she always avoids me because she thinks I'm going to hit her. I won't. We're not going to the same career, so we luckily don't see each other too much. Anyway, a few days ago she went to our parents' house saying that she broke up with my ex, Ikwai, and that she felt really sad and had an anxiety attack. I don't know exactly what they talked about since I wasn't there, but my mother told me that she told my sister that she knew what was going to happen when she slept with him, and my sister justified herself by saying that they're in love. So my mother and her just argued again, and my sister left. Now she doesn't talk to anyone in the family except our grandmother to ask for money. I know my sister is not going to change her bad habits, and she didn't learn anything from this. I even think she will get together with my ex again because they're just toxic with each other, but it's her life to ruin, not mine, and I don't care anymore. The bright side. I sold the PC to a guy from Reddit that saw my post, and that really saved me from having to keep paying the dues. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play The Sims much, but I prefer the extra money. My ex had told me that he wanted the PC back, but I told him that then he should pay the remaining dues, and he said no. So the idiot wanted the PC for free, even though he slept with my sister. Woozy face. I know it's a boring update, and probably everyone wanted that the update was my sister begging for forgiveness and my ex suffering, but no. They are just two idiots who deserve each other, and nothing more happened, but even today I received a message asking me for an update. Haha. Relevant comments. OP on if she forgives her sister and her boyfriend. OP, I'm going to go ahead and not forgive them. I can do both at the same time. And no, I don't forgive my sister, and I don't want her to forget this, and I don't want to see her again. In a few years, I'll remember these two idiots and laugh, but that doesn't mean they deserve my forgiveness. Update 3. Hi, it's been a while since my last update, but some things have happened. First of all, almost 1 month ago, my sister talked to me from another number to tell me that her friend saw my post in a video on Facebook. Apparently, it's even translated into Spanish, haha. For the first time we spoke again, she made a big fuss saying that I didn't even change our ages or data, so her friend obviously acknowledged that I was talking about her since I didn't even hide my nationality. I told her that I wasn't interested about it, and she should be thankful that I didn't post it on my own Facebook. She told me I'm a POS and I portrayed her as a slut, but honestly I don't regret it. No one here knows her face, and I'm the one who looks like a cuckold in front of everyone. She started pressuring me to delete the posts, but I told her that it doesn't make sense anymore because it's everywhere, so I just blocked that number too. Man shrugging light skin tone. A few weeks after I made my last post, they came back, but now they're not back together anymore. Acquaintances in common that I have with both of them usually tell me that they cheat on each other all the time, or maybe they have an open relationship, but they always see them with other people in clubs. I'm not really interested in it since I avoid going to the same clubs as them. It's really annoying because my sister used to not go to clubs, but now she started to go to the same ones I always used to go. She had always criticized me for going to those environments. At this exact moment, they are not together, and my ex has been looking for excuses to see me, like returning clothes that I forgot at his house, which I don't need. That's why I was not interested in going to look for them. So one day he came to my apartment unannounced to bring me my clothes, and I had no choice but to let him in, and we slept together. Just kidding, huh? I just let him into my apartment to leave the clothes. I should talk to the manager to tell him that he is no longer allowed to have free access to my door. And it was very uncomfortable because he reminded me all the time that he is no longer with my sister and that I am a great woman. I told him that I know I am great, but I am not interested in hearing about his relationship with my sister. I love gossip though, and I just invited him to leave my place. He even tried to kiss me on the cheek before leaving. Yikes. Meanwhile, my parents don't know what to do with my sister anymore because she's even stopped going to college, although she's never really paid much attention to her studies, and they're tired of spending money if she doesn't make an effort. They have warned her that if she continues like this, they will stop paying for her university, but from what my mother said, my sister does not care, and she really believes that my parents will at some point give her money again to fulfill her whims. I really hope right now that she doesn't get pregnant, but I'm even afraid she'll do that so my parents can support her again. And about me, I feel much better, except for the fact that I don't go to my favorite club anymore. I'm very well emotionally, and I've already reached a point where I hear their shit show as if it were something foreign to me and I was just watching two crazy clowns. Update 4. So, things have gotten even weirder, if that's possible. My sister, let's call her Sarah, has officially gone off the rails. I thought she couldn't top everything she's done, but here we are. A few days ago, I got a call from our grandma. Apparently, Sarah has been telling everyone in the family that she's pregnant. Yeah, you heard that right, pregnant. But here's the kicker. She doesn't know who the father is. I know, it sounds like a bad reality show, but I swear it's real life. Sarah's been bouncing between my ex and some other guy she met at a club. She's trying to pin the pregnancy on my ex, of course, because she thinks that'll somehow get her back into the good graces of our parents. But, of course, he's not having it. He straight up told her that he's not interested in playing daddy, especially since they've been on and off more times than I can count. My parents? They're losing it. My dad's threatening to cut her off completely. No more empty threats this time. But honestly, I'm not sure if they'll actually follow through. Sarah's always managed to manipulate them into feeling sorry for her, and I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to use this pregnancy to reel them back in. In the midst of all this chaos, my ex has been texting me nonstop. He's basically begging for another chance, saying that he realizes now how much he screwed up and that Sarah was just a mistake. Like, dude, a mistake that lasted over a year and wrecked our entire relationship? No thanks. I've been ignoring most of his messages, but he's persistent. He even tried showing up at my work, which was super awkward. I had to get security to escort him out because he wouldn't take a hint. As for Sarah, she's still avoiding me like the plague. We haven't spoken since she called me a POS for not taking down the post that's been circulating everywhere. At this point, she's more concerned about her reputation than anything else, which is honestly laughable considering the mess she's made of her life. I heard through the grapevine that she's been telling people I'm the one who ruined her relationship with my ex, like I wasn't the one who got cheated on. The mental gymnastics she's doing to make herself the victim in all this is truly Olympic level. Anyway, I'm just trying to stay out of the drama as much as possible, but it's hard when they keep dragging me back into it. I've been focusing on myself, trying to enjoy the single life and not let their nonsense affect me. I even joined a gym. Shocking, I know. And it's been a nice distraction from all the chaos. Plus, it feels good to do something positive for myself after all the crap I've been through. Update 5. First off, the whole pregnancy thing? Yeah, it turns out Sarah lied. I know, shocking, right? But here's the twist, she wasn't just lying to manipulate my ex and get back in my parents' good graces. No, she also tried to use it as leverage to get money from my grandmother of all people. Apparently, she spun some sob story about needing money for prenatal care and convinced our poor grandma to give her a decent chunk of cash. How did I find out? Well, grandma called me, panicked, after Sarah suddenly stopped responding to her texts. She thought something had happened to her, but nope, Sarah just ghosted her after she got the money. My grandma was devastated, and that was the last straw for me. I called my parents and told them everything. My dad? Absolutely livid. He's always had a soft spot for Sarah, but scamming our grandma? Even he couldn't ignore that. He told me he was done with her, no more empty threats this time, but we'll see if that actually sticks. Meanwhile, my ex decided to up his stalker game. He found out I blocked him on everything, finally, so he showed up at my apartment unannounced again. This time, though, I wasn't having it. I called the cops on him. I didn't press charges, but they gave him a good scare and told him to stay away from me. Honestly, the whole thing was both satisfying and terrifying. He left me a sobbing voicemail later that night, saying he just wants to talk. But I'm done. I'm so done. Now here's the wild part. Remember that other guy Sarah was seeing? Well, he reached out to me. Yeah, you read that right, he DM'd me on Instagram, completely out of the blue. I guess he found out about the whole situation and wanted to clear the air. At first, I was like, why is this guy even getting involved? But then he dropped the bomb. Sarah had told him she was pregnant too and said it was his kid. Cue the facepalm. Turns out, Sarah was trying to play both sides, probably hoping one of them would stick around. But when my ex bailed, she doubled down on the other guy, thinking he'd step up. Spoiler alert, he didn't. In fact, He was pissed and wanted nothing to do with her anymore. He apologized for messaging me and said he didn't want any drama, but I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. Like, what is this, a soap opera? So now Sarah is officially out of options. She's cut off from our parents, ghosted by both guys, and owes our grandma money that she doesn't have. She tried calling me from yet another number, probably to ask for help or sympathy, but I didn't answer. I'm done playing her games. She made her bed. Now she can lie in it. As for me, I'm finally feeling free. I've been spending more time with friends, focusing on my hobbies, and living my life without the constant drama. I even went out to my favorite club again and had a blast without worrying about running into either of those clowns. It felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. But honestly, with Sarah, I'm sure it's only a matter of time before she stirs up some new chaos. Maybe she'll show up at my door with some new sob story, or maybe she'll find some other poor soul to con. Who knows? All I know is that I'm done with her madness. Update 6. Alright, I didn't think I'd be back with another update, but here we go again. Sarah, true to form, has managed to outdo herself in the drama department. So, a couple of days ago, my parents decided to stage an intervention. Well, more like an ambush, honestly. They invited both Sarah and me over under the guise of a family dinner, but I knew something was up when they insisted on it being just the four of us. I hadn't spoken to Sarah since the whole pregnancy scam blew up, so I was pretty hesitant, but my mom basically guilt-tripped me into showing up. She said it was time to resolve everything as a family. Spoiler alert, nothing got resolved. The moment I walked in, I could feel the tension. Sarah was sitting there looking all pitiful, like she was the one who had been wronged. My dad started off by lecturing both of us like this was some petty sibling squabble that could be fixed with a few apologies. He kept going on about how we needed to move past this and support each other, as if Sarah hadn't blown up my entire life. Sarah, predictably, played the victim card to the max. She teared up, saying she'd made mistakes and that she was in a bad place mentally. She even threw in some crap about how she never meant to hurt me and how she's been struggling with deep insecurities her whole life. It was like she had rehearsed this whole sob story. I honestly couldn't believe what I was hearing. When it was my turn to speak, I didn't hold back. I told them straight up that I was done with her manipulations and lies, that she crossed every line, and that no amount of crocodile tears was going to change the fact that she destroyed any chance of us being sisters again. I made it clear that I wasn't interested in playing nice just because we share DNA. My dad tried to calm things down, saying that forgiveness was the only way forward, but I shot that down real quick. I told him that forgiveness isn't something you just give out because it's convenient for everyone else. Sarah's betrayal wasn't some minor mistake, it was calculated, ongoing, and beyond cruel. She knew exactly what she was doing. Then, out of nowhere, Sarah blurts out that she's trying to change. She said she's going to therapy and working on herself, and that she hopes we can all move forward. But here's the thing. I've heard this song and dance from her before. It's always the same pattern she messes up, plays the victim, promises to change, and then goes right back to her old ways as soon as things settle down. And get this, she had the nerve to ask if I could loan her some money to help her get back on her feet. I nearly laughed in her face. Like, really? After everything she's done, she thinks I'm going to hand her cash? I told her flat out that she wasn't getting a dime from me, and she should consider this whole situation as rock bottom. If she wants to climb out, she'll have to do it on her own. That's when things got really heated. Sarah started yelling about how I was being unfair and holding a grudge, and my dad tried to get us to calm down. But by then, I was already grabbing my bag and heading for the door. I told them I was done with the whole charade and that they could keep playing family therapist if they wanted, but I wasn't going to be a part of it. As I was leaving, my mom ran after me, asking me to reconsider and saying that Sarah needed my help. I told her that Sarah had all the help she needed when she had my trust and love, and she threw it all away. Now she can deal with the consequences. So yeah, that's where we're at.